brand new and completely new, completely innovative 2026 Formula One season, of course, starts in earnest at the Australian Grand Prix, with the Australian Grand Prix at the Albert Park circuit, which is the one that we will introduce you in pretty much the longest standing series that we have done, pretty much, for it is now the 4th year running, which is the Hard Lap series. And in the Hard Lap series, as you can see, we have quite some changes as well, because for us it's not gonna be the active aero, for example, or the half split between the combustion and the electric power. That's really gonna be playing the role over here. But as you can see, we are gonna be also talking about some history in this hard lap before we climb into the cockpit of this beautiful SF1000 T818 Formula 1 racing simulator with our very lovely new fashion, as you can see, in that kind of traditional Scarlet Red Ferrari color. Let me know how you like it. Obviously, we have 4 different sets, and this one, the shirt, as always, the Team Pro shirt, we will use it for the hard lap, unlike, for example, for the red hard lap, which is coming up next, for which we will use one of the very special edition polos, right? Or for the fastest lap, we will use the Team Pro, but that is the polo. So over here, what is gonna be happening here, as you probably know, we will climb into the cockpit. We will tell you a little bit about the history and why these beautiful shiny Formula 1 Grand Prix winner trophies are over here, and of course we will then take a look and look at the setup, which is very important, because with the right setup, it's really a pleasure to go around this reprofiled Albert Park circuit, which is now much faster. And then we will go on the warm-up lap, so we will show you all of the magnificent places before we will go on a hot lap, and hopefully we will get within a couple of seconds of our personal best. So are you ready to go for it in this new fashion, new haircut of 2026? Of course you are. So let me climb into the cockpit, and before we start, let me just say that we have the 3 Formula 1 Grand Prix winner trophies for our 3 amazing victories at the Albert Park from 2010 and of course 2017 and 2024. Well, we hope that we won't have to wait another 7 years to lift that 4th trophy over here. And of course, as Scuderia Ferrari, we hope that we will be lifting our 12th overall this weekend. And of course, thanks to the 4 trophies that Michael Schumacher, my childhood hero, has won. So I definitely want to emulate him. But the biggest change in the hard lap over here will of course be how you race it. So this hard lap series, when we are using the F125 simulation, because obviously the F126 hasn't been released yet, it will feature the DRS, which is now gone. So again, we will try to see what changes there might be for this year, but obviously we won't know pretty much up until June. So definitely stay tuned. Let me climb into the cockpit. We haven't done it with the F125 cars yet, because last year we did it with the F124 cars, the hard lap. So let's see how well we can race. So over here, a beautiful setup we have, and we will take for a spin Scarlet Red Ferrari over here. And you can see, of course, that wonderful calendar, which it looks brilliant, especially in the sunshine, which we hope there will be a lovely sunshine. We are going to go to Australia, lap record by Charles Leclerc. Very happy hunting ground for Scuderia Ferrari, and we definitely hope that we can win over here. So let's check it out. As Scuderia Ferrari, we've of course won here 11 times. And it is the first race of the season taking place from the 6th of March, where we will have the free practice 1, free practice 2, and for free practice 2 you will see this grey hard lap. And then of course on March 7th we will then have the free practice 3, you will see the red hard lap. We've already seen the race introduction for free practice 1, and then you will see the qualifying and the race on March 8th. So over here, everybody, let's take a look, because we have to set our car so that we can be breaking some lap records. So over here, you can see, with the wheel, obviously we will not be able to use the battery, which is why we have the red hard laps over there, because the battery, that will be a big thing, over here. So let's see. Okay, so first we will load up our setup. for the Australian Grand Prix. Let's start here. The fuel load is given at 10 kilograms, right? So that fuel always stays the same, but you cannot use the battery, which actually can make quite a difference. Now for aerodynamics, so we are running quite a low wing over here, mostly due to the fact that if you are able to hit the apex right in a fast turns, with front wing error of 23 and the rear wing error of 15, that top speed can be critical to the victory. For the transmission, so that's one of the biggest changes, which is sometimes making the F125 cars not as sharp to drive as, for example, my favorite F124 cars. We will go differential adjustment on throttle 75%, differential adjustment off throttle 45%. These are also our race setups, so definitely you can be challenging for a victory. You will see though if it will result in the fourth victory overall here at the Albert Park circuit. For the suspension geometry, so front camber, rear camber all the way to the minimum at minus 3.50 degrees, minus 2.00 degrees, and front toe out at 0.00 degrees, rear toe in at 0.10 degrees. Suspension, so here you will notice, especially I guess with a lot of the setups, especially if you're still driving the F125, front suspension very firm at 41, rear suspension very soft at 1, which will have implications on what kind of tire pressures you will be running. Front anti-roll bar at 1, rear anti-roll bar at 3, and the front ride height, in the 25 season, obviously, you don't want to wear that plank, so it is quite low. Front ride height at 21, rear ride height at 48. For the brakes, so we start with the front brake bias, which is at 56%. So traditionally, that I always said 58% is the way to go. But I notice when I go to 56, I won't be looking at the fronts, but also the rears, and basically, it improves my speed. So I guess, we found a new balance, and thankfully, we discovered that before we start the championship. Front brake pressure at 100%. Sadly, no engine braking, which is, I believe, what gave us additional time last season. And finally, for the tires, before we go for a warm-up lap, front right tire pressure is same like from left tire pressure at 29.5 psi. That's because you have the very, very high front suspension, because you have pretty much a minimal rear suspension. The rear right tire pressure and rear left tire pressure will be at 20.5 psi per square inch. So over here now you know the setup, and we will now go and try to see just how well we can master the circuit. But of course, before we do that, it is time. Okay, so over here, it is time to introduce the circuit to you. So everybody, this is our first formal lap of the 2026 season with this beautiful calendar. We have double of them, of course. So over here, you will be heading pretty much, you can go full throttle over here now in the F125, 4/5 gear. Again, if the car is sliding to the left as you engage the DRS, which we will not be engaging anymore, you will be free to use, I believe, the active arrow pretty much anywhere. The DRS is replaced, with the additional, I believe, the extra battery allocation of about, half a megawatts of the power, which you can then use throughout the lap if you within 1 second behind the car. So it will be interesting how it goes. But again, this is the RIP, the kind of a tribute series also to the DRS, which has enabled overtaking for 15 years in Formula 1. 6, 7, 8 gear, you will be heading down the straight. You want to keep it to the left over here at the Albert Park circuit, and you are pretty much looking for the blackboard as you passing that Louis Vuitton over there side, and you brake relatively early over here, 5th or 4th gear. Now if you can make it at the 5th gear and the perfect apex, so just hugging the right and the left curve, that will be perfect, right? But obviously what you want to be doing over here as you engage the DRS, is to be running very, very close to the barriers over here, but not fall of the track limits, so to speak. So then we will be heading 6, 7, 8 gear, and here it's a little bit difficult to pick the braking point, especially in the afternoon because of the trees. But you're gonna brake, around the 100-meter board. Otherwise you won't be able to slow down the car. Here you could look at the wheels, but once you put the brake bias to 56%, you can confidently attack the brakes, and then you can attack the throttle third, 4th gear, and sometimes just downshifting it to third, to give you the ideal line, and very quickly to 4th. expand the track is the best way, as we have obviously that cricket stadium there to our right. And then over here, this blind corner caused us a lot of trouble when we were racing here first time, well over a decade ago, but now it's a quick turn to the right, 5th, 6th, 7th gear, and here is one of the critical turns, surprisingly, because you will be approaching it in a high 7th gear. Sometimes I like to go to the 8th gear and then to the 5th, and a very, very early turn in. Take a lot of the curve and on the power as quickly as you can, actually before you even see the exit. So it has a very, very early apex, right? And you want to do this because basically then you won't let off the gas pedal until one of the most enjoyable chicanes in Formula 1, the turns 9 and 10, which obviously can be taken almost flat out, and the change of direction only Formula 1 car can do. And yeah, here is basically our favorite section. So you will be heading 7, 8 gear again, with regards to the DRS, you would engage it, but now no more of that. So you will have to see how, for example, our innovative Ferrari rear wing, how much of the top speed it can get. Beautiful palm trees again, you are down under. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place. And here I found in recent years, especially in F125, it's relatively easy because you will pretty much max out. And over here, just quick slow down to the 6th gear or 7th gear, and then 6th, you go right and left, and with the authority turn the wheel, try to avoid the curb. But here you would engage the DRS, but again we won't have that. And then again it's a big run now to the heavy braking zone. You have to actually brake quite late. It is a little bit downhill, as you can see. You will be well in the 8th gear, and you pretty much brake at 100 meter board, even well past the 100 meter board. Make sure you don't look up the wheels, don't hit that high orange curb, and stay clear of the curbs so you can accelerate as quickly as possible. The car might be a bit unstable, but with the setup actually it's incredibly stable. Then you go 5th, 6th gear. Normally you want to take it kind of in the middle range of the 6th gear, but you could fall full of the track limit. So do make sure you stay off the curb, because immediately from the left you gotta go to the right, and here you can again downshift quicker or slower, but basically that would be for the final chicane, 2nd, 3rd here. And now we are ready for the hot lap, so you know how to master it. So let's go for it, guys. Our first hot lap of the 2026-2026 season. Let's go, yes, Ferrari Champions. Nice, we are nailing it nicely. Got a bit of a grass there. Okay, stay clear of the lookup. And this is it, come on, yeah. It's so enjoyable here at the Albert Park. And go on the power, right. We stay within the limits. Don't be afraid of the barriers. And this is what Formula 1 racing is all about. Nice one, come on, Jan. Wow, that was almost exemplary, come on. Nice, third gear, that's excellent. Yes, and we will make it. Wow, that was a great exit. Oh yeah, alright. So let me stop over here in front of the Louis Vuitton. We did it in less than 80, of course, in less than 80 seconds over here. Very, very important. So yes. We hope that you guys absolutely enjoy this hot lap. Yeah, this is exactly how you have to do it. Put it in there, and yeah, I have to say the car was nice and flatted, wasn't it? Yeah, so we cannot wait to actually race it over here. At the Albert Park circuit, and yes, look at how beautiful it looks like over here. So you guys, we hope you enjoyed this hot lap. Again, we will be aiming for our 4th victory for Scuderia Ferrari, our 12th, especially with the brilliant starts. I think this is definitely going to be our race. Now you know how to master it. So definitely check out the red hot lap, where I actually go over 2 seconds quicker, which is quite interesting. But here, this is obviously the time trial section, fashion, right? You know, where you cannot use that battery, so we stay, you know, within the 2 seconds, which is kind of the goal that we have. And you know, I have to say, you know, the car was nice and planted over here, and you know, we could have you know, definitely gone even quicker, but you can see that right on the spot, when you are the champion, you can deliver amazing time. And then check out, you know, the qualifying hours. We will be aiming, of course, to be here, you know, on the pole position for the third time. We actually qualified third 2 times, you know, on the front row. We already qualified 3 times. We were second one, so lots of records, you know, obviously to chase, as well as our third fastest lap. So you know, I'm really looking forward to it. Yes, let me also know how you like this beautiful new fashion. You know, it looks great, obviously, bar the HP logo. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this now very traditional series with this amazing SF1000 T818 Formula 1 racing simulator. And you guys, all I can say is that we love racing, we love Formula 1, we love Ferrari. Let's go racing, Forza Ferrari!